All right, so let's get started on how we do this. So this one, I am going to use a Lion brand yarn called Rebound. This yarn is 100% nylon, all right? And this is 175 yards. Now I'm gonna make this a little bit different size than the last one, so I will let you know at the end how much of this I ended up using. I already weighed it so that I can weigh it again when I'm done and get a good idea. I have a feeling, believe it or not, it's going to use most, if not all, of this skein. Now, this one I am gonna make just a little bit shorter. That other one that I showed you with the worsted weight yarn, ended up about 32 inches long, not including the tassel, which I felt was a little bit long, and that was a chain of 100. Now this one, the yarn is a little bit thinner. It is a nylon, it is stretchy. All right, so I'm gonna start with a chain of 90. I'm also using a G hook. So we're gonna start out with a good old chain, and you're gonna chain 90. Sorry, I should have explained that. So you're gonna start with that loop, your slip knot over your fingers, up through, grab onto that loop, and then give a tug on both of those pieces of yarn. All right, we're gonna place our hook into that loop, and I'm gonna chain 90 here. So it's a yarn over and pull through, yarn over and pull through, yarn over, pull through, yarn over, pull through. You want to keep your chain nice and consistent. Don't go too tight on this. Go ahead and chain however many you want. Now I'm doing 90. You can do 50. You can do 100. You can do 150. Make it really long. You can make a short one at 20. Chain however many you want this to be. This main chain is going to determine the length of your spinner. All right, go ahead and do that, and I'll see you in a little bit. Okay, so I have my chain completed. So now what we're gonna do, and I actually did 91 because we're gonna start in the second chain from the hook. So you don't count what's on the hook. This would be considered the first chain, and here's the second chain. We're gonna do single crochets all the way down now. So for your single crochet in the second chain, we're gonna go into that stitch. You're gonna grab that yarn and pull up your loop. You're gonna yarn over, and you're gonna come through both loops on your hook. All right, let's go to the next one. In, pull up your loop, yarn over, come through both. This is my first time working with this yarn. It is so nice and silky and easy to work with. In through that loop, chain I should say, pull up your loop, yarn over, come through both. So you're gonna continue this single crochet all the way down your chain. Make sure that you hit each chain, all right? So that one I just did, I'm going into this next one right here. Yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through two. Yarn over, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through two. So you might get a little bit of curling here. That is perfectly fine, not to worry at all. Just continue working that single crochet all the way down, and then I will meet you when you get to the end. All right, here I am down at the end. So I did one single crochet in each chain. Now we're gonna make our way back, and we're gonna chain one and turn. I'm a big believer in just a chain one, even though we're going into a double crochet, and turn. And now every single one of these single crochets is gonna get 2 double crochets. So let's go over the double crochet. It's a yarn over. We're gonna start right in this first stitch, into the stitch, pull up your loop, yarn over, pull through 2 loops on the hook, still 2 left, yarn over, pull through those next 2. Now the next double crochet is going into that exact same spot. So yarn over, into that same spot, pull up your loop, yarn over, come through 2, yarn over, come through 2. We're gonna continue that all the way down. So yarn over into my next, pull up my loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2, yarn over, go into that same spot, pull up your loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. We're gonna keep doing that all the way down 2 double crochets in every single one of those single crochets. Yarn over through 2, through 2, in, yarn over through 2, through 2. Let's take a quick look. So you could see 2 of them together in each stitch. All right, continue that all the way down to the end of your chain. Make sure that you get into that very last stitch that's down there. Kind of hides a little bit, rolls over, but make sure you get that, and then I will meet you to do the next row. All right, so I just finished chain 1 and 2. This is the one that there was 2 double crochets in every single crochet all the way down. So you could see that it's starting to get very wavy. But this next row, this is where all the magic happens. All right, so we're gonna chain 1. We're gonna turn, and you're gonna do 3 double crochets in every double crochet. So yarn over, come right into this first double, pull up your loop, yarn over through 2, yarn over through 2. You're gonna continue that same spot with another double and with a third double. 3 double crochets in every stitch. So you can imagine this row takes a while because we doubled and now we are tripling by putting 3 double crochets in every stitch. 1, 2, 3 double crochets. Next stitch. 1, 2, and 3. And I want you to continue that down the entire length, 3 double crochets in every single double crochet from the row before. All right, keep that going all the way down. You can see it's really curling now. This is where it gets really cool. All the way down, and then we have 1 more row after that. So I will meet you when you are done with 3 double crochets in every stitch all the way down. See ya in a while. All right, coming into the home stretch here so you could see that it's really taken its shape now. We've got 1 more row to do, and that is going to be to bring a row of single crochet all the way down this outer edge. So chain 1 and turn, and you're literally just single crocheting in every single stitch. This kind of finishes off the edge and smooths it out, if you would. It's a little bit, some spots it looks a little bit wrinkly. It will help it hold better. Let me show you again, refer to this one that's done. All right, so this last row here, that outer edge. Now I did these in different yarns, but on this outer edge it kind of really smooths it off. Now look at the difference here in size. This is the one with this rebound, which is a thin nylon. It says it's a 4, but I would call it a 3. This is a nylon yarn, much smaller than doing it with that worsted weight regular 100% acrylic yarn. All right, so we're gonna finish that off by bringing that row of single crochet. Yes, it takes a while, but this is a great project to do when you don't have to think. It's just do those single crochets all the way down to the other end. All right, you're gonna be here for a while, so go ahead and stop the video and you can come back in at the end. I will show you how to make a tassel to go on the end. We also need to put a spinner on here. That's part of what makes this a spinner. So the spinner is this piece here that you can get from the fishing department, and this allows it to do exactly what it says, to spin. All right, go ahead and finish your single crochets and I'll see you in a while. All right, time to finish up our wind spinner. So what we're gonna need for this last part is we're gonna need something that has a swivel to it. Now, My original one that I made, I used these. These are in the fishing department. Saltwater fishing department. But anyways, just happened to find them at a store that I was at. But it's a swivel. So that's this right here. And it's got this little bit at the top so you can hang this, all right? But what's important is that this bottom part, and you can't really see it move, but this swivels really freely. Now, a couple other things that I find, I tend to be one when I see something that I might use in a craft project, I hold on to it. This was on a lanyard. But again, you'll see this mechanical section right here swivels nice and easy. So you could use that and it would hang and swing, be able to swivel. All right. And then there's this one that also is a swivel. I use these on these lip balm holders, which I do have a video on how to make those, so go ahead and look at my channel. But again, it's another piece that has that swivel feature. I will tell you, these are the most expensive. You can see there were 3 in here and it was $1.99, and this was at Ollie's, so that's like a discount store. So the fishing are the most expensive. Probably the most free-flowing as far as the swivel goes. This obviously was free because I repurposed it. I took it off of something else. And then these are, I don't even know, maybe 20, 40 cents a piece, if that. I bought them so long ago, I don't even remember. So anyway, choose what you feel is going to work best for you. I'm going to use this one today just because I want to give it a try. So what I do with my spinner, you could see here, I kind of rolled it to kind of get it all formed the way that it's going to be. Now, one end we're going to put a tassel on, the other end is what's going to get hooked into our spinner. So on these, the thing to keep in mind that when you're hanging it, you're gonna have this part facing up so it kind of like cups down and in, all right? We're not gonna, I mean, I guess you could hang it that way too, but we're gonna hang it so that it's going in this fashion, which means this is my top. So when I finished this off with my last row of singles, I left a nice long string here. Now, couple different ways that you could attach it. If you wanted to, you could crochet it onto here. I'm not going to do that. I am going to literally wrap it around here a couple of times. Just come around. Now, the one thing that I'm not sure about this one is if it slides to the side, is it going to stop it from spinning? I don't think so, but I'm going to wrap it around here a few times. Just to kind of take up a little bit of that space up on that part. Probably would have been easier if I threaded a needle and put it through here, but no, instead I'm going to struggle through. All right, I'm going to do a couple more wraps. Bring it through that center. And again, you can find whatever you want to use for your swivel. If I was going into this fishing line one, obviously I would just put it through that one time and that would be it. All right, so now I want to figure out how long do I want this to be, because you know, we want it to have a little bit of length that it's hanging from, but I don't want it super long, so I'm going to bring that down just a little bit. And now I am going to grab my needle, which was sitting right here. What did I do with it? All right, let's see. So let's pull out our needle and we're going to bring this back down to the spinner. So go ahead and thread that. All right, and now I'm going to work it right on this edge where I finished everything off. I'm going to come, I'm going down below that last single crochet right there, or second to last. All right, check it out, see where you are as far as your length there. I'm going to go around a couple of times here just to make it nice and secure. Come back over to this one. All right. Now I want to make sure that I get this tied off a little bit, so I'm going to go through and then come through my loop. That'll put a little knot there. Do that again, through and through my loop. Get a little knot there. And do one more underneath a stitch. And then go ahead and weave that end down in. I'm gonna run myself back at least once and run through a couple more stitches here and clip that off. All right, so there we go. We have our swivel set up at the top. All right, and now we're gonna make a tassel for the bottom. So you're gonna take your yarn that you still have. I'm going to make a tassel, but I don't want it to be as big as the last one that I made because remember, this is quite a bit smaller than when you use that worsted weight. So again, go by the weight of what you're using. Believe it or not, I use my iPhone to do the tassel for the size. So for a bigger one, I'm gonna wrap around this way. Now, depending on how thick you want it, wrap a whole bunch of times. I didn't count how many times I wrapped for the other one, but I did quite a bit. For this one, I want this to be a small tassel, a little bit more delicate. So I'm gonna wrap it this way. Now, this is gonna make it pretty small. So if you want something in between, definitely find something else to wrap it around. But like I said, I don't want this one too big just because this is a smaller, more delicate wind spinner, okay? So clip that off. All right, now what we're gonna do here is I'm gonna slide this off of my phone. It's got a little bit of elasticity to it because I use that rebound yarn. All right, and now down on one end, you're gonna cut through all of the layers. Okay, and then carefully lay that out. Ah, they got stuck. So this yarn, I will tell you, if your hands are rough, which sometimes mine definitely get rough, it does stick to this yarn. So I'm just going to replace those that jumped around on me here. And get them, they don't have to be perfectly even because we'll trim it, but get them to be on the even side. And take another piece, I should have placed it all on top of there, and you're gonna tie off right in the middle. So get it middle, or thereabouts. Again, they keep sticking to my finger, sorry. And we're gonna tie that off. So just doing a good old knot here. As close to the middle as you can. All right, I'm gonna wrap it around and do a knot on the other side. Now, leave these strings because this is gonna be how you're gonna attach it to your spinner. All right, so we're gonna take and fold this in half, get those strings out of the way. All right, these are gonna be where it attaches, but now this here, I need to get another piece of my yarn, and this one is gonna go around this full thickness. So go ahead and lay it down where you want it. I'm not going too far down because again, this is a smaller tassel. So go ahead, nice and tight here. Tie a knot. All right, and now I'm gonna take those and I'm gonna wrap them around my tassel. Could fluff it up a little bit. But take that you just tied and wrap around a couple times. All right, once you've wrapped it around, go ahead and take and thread the ends through your needle. Let me put it down so that I could do it. You could see how rough my hands are, so I am definitely sticking to this. It wasn't too bad when I was crocheting with it, but definitely could use some hand cream if this is the nylon is sticking to you. All right, there's one through. Let's get the other one through. Okay, now I'm gonna take and wrap that around again because my wrap totally came undone while I was fighting with that. Wrap it around a few times. And then go ahead and take it and run it underneath where you just wrapped. And I'm gonna do it one more time. All right, and then I'm just gonna punch it through and clip it. Oh my goodness, you could see it really stick into my hands. Okay, so there we have this funky, sloppy little tassel. So you could play around with it, pull it, get it to the way you want it to be. All right, and now we're gonna go down to this end and I'm gonna just work on straightening this end out a little bit. So pulling all these together, I'm gonna do it in a couple of stages because I'm really off here. All right, so what I do is I kind of do an initial cut and then I'll bring it a different way. It's okay if some are longer, some are shorter. That's part of the character of it, right? And I'm gonna trim a little bit more, especially if there's any real long ones hanging out. And I'm not looking to get it perfect, but if there's any that are really hanging out way more than others, I'll tend to clip those a little bit more. You can even come in here and pull on them a little bit, but that looks pretty good. All right, let's get this mess out of the way. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take from this end one side, thread it, and I wanna put it all the way at the end of my spinner. So this is my row of single crochets. I'm gonna come into that. I'm gonna take the other side and I'm gonna go into the stitch next to it. Now, I don't want this hanging down too far, but get it to the length that you want, and then you're going to tie off. Oops, I want it to hang a little bit. This is gonna, just pull it a little bit. Tie that again, and then I'm gonna take these ends and I'm gonna weave in my ends here. Even though I tied it, I still like to do some weaving in. That's just how I like to do it. You do whatever works for you. Pull that through and clip it. You know, if you've ever made a mistake on something and you've already weaved in your ends and you have to go back, you know that it's not easy. So it definitely does give it an extra layer of security. There's no doubt about it. Okay, clip that. And then I have this one other end here. This is where all of this magic started. So I need to weave in that last end. Tacking, and then go ahead and weave up that a little bit and clip. All right, there we go. Our tassel is on and we are all set. So I'm going to turn this off for a second, switch my GoPro to a position where I can actually hold this up and we can see how it turned out. Be right back. Alrighty, here it is. I love the colors on this. You can let it spin, put this out. Now this being nylon is probably gonna do really well out in weather. If it should rain, it would dry really quickly. You'll see the top and the bottom get kind of pulled out a little bit. That's okay. That's just the way that this is all fastened together. Now, I imagine you could run this down a little bit more if you wanted some more stability up at the top, but the middle took a really nice shape in there. And then I like to, if I'm putting it aside, just put it all up into this cute little ball here. All right, and there we go. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this project. Again, this was Rebound yarn that I used by Lion Brand. I did look it up, and unfortunately Lion Brand is discontinuing it. Let's see, I'm doing this video at the end of August 2021, and I do know that right now this is available at Ocean State Job Lot. So if you have an Ocean State near you, that's definitely a place that you can get it. The other one that I did I did it with a worsted weight yarn. I did the inner section and the first, so I did the chain and the first row of single crochets with one color. I did my 2 rows of double crochet with a variegated yarn, and then I did my outer edge single crochet with the same color as I used for that inner edge, and it came out really good. A couple of things that I'm gonna do with them. I'm gonna do one with a section of white, a section of yellow, and a section of orange to look like some candy corn since fall is coming. And I think I'm also gonna do some striped with red and white to make it look candy cane for the Christmas holiday. So you can have lots of fun with this. You can do all different multicolors. You can do solid colors. Just have a lot of fun with this. Enjoy. It's not difficult. It just takes a while because there's a lot of stitches in there. So that's all I've got for you today. Thank you so much for coming to Coach Mel's Crochet Corner. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, make sure that you do and hit the notification bell. That way it'll let you know every time I post a new video. All right, that's all for today. Hope to see you again real soon. Take care, everyone.